We're here at Sydney Motorsport Park for the combined National and New South Wales Sports Sedans rounds 1 and 2 of their championships respectively. 25 cars on the grid for this opening race of the weekend. Gary O'Brien joins me, Daniel Beckinsale in commentary. And Gary, we've got Tony Ricciardello out in front again.
We do, and Steve Tamasi in second, Grant Dorman and Billy Chetton the next two, and already Steve Lacey's run wide out of turn 2, and the gap has already formed back to between 4 and 5.
Yeah, have a look at this as Dorman now works on the back of Tamasi. Now Dorman qualified on second place, so he's got some speed in that Falcon. They've worked on a lot in the off-season. Didn't have a great round 1. Good start to round 2 though. Down the inside to retake second. Tamasi will not like that.
Yeah, well, we do have the situation where they run 2 different tyres. Only for this round, must stress that the Kumo tyres are on the state guys, and the DEA Performance National guys run on Hancock. And it's pretty well known that the Kumo tyre comes on a little bit early. They've got a little bit more pace with that one.
Yeah, on board with Lacey for a replay of turn 2. It looks like he's copped a nudge on the inside. We'll have to see. His hands up, so definitely unhappy about something. We've got another replay here with Jordan Caruso down through turn 1 and into turn 2. I think he's the one who makes contact with Lacey. That's right on board with him down here to 2. You can see Lacey very twitchy on the exit of 1.
He is, and yeah, it is a bit tight there, and there wasn't the gap, was there? And Jordan Caruso, the young kid out of Hyundai, excels in his first race in a big blower sports sedan, and there he goes, off into pit lane. Obviously copped a bit of steering damage out of that one. He's
been impressive though so far on the weekend in practice and qualifying, so hopefully we'll see a lot more out of him and in the races 2 and 3 to come, as we see their inward force a little bit wide by McCready. This is a battle of New South Wales sports sedans, and we go further down the field and see even more New South Wales sports sedans crawling all over each other. Jeremy Mapp in the little Toyota just in front of this pack.
Yeah, that's Canberra in behind him. And of course we've got Geithner in that BMW. Something a little bit different. We don't normally see those sorts of cars running at the with the big national boys, do we?
No, that's it. Philip Ryan also trying to make his way around the outside in the 280 ZX. They both round up. Jeremy Mapp, it seems like he might be having a few dramas. He's spent a lot of time in the off-season rebuilding that car, so hopefully we'll see a good season from him this year.
Yeah, here's our leading New South Wales protagonists from the opening round. They're running second and third respectively at the moment, behind Grant Dorman, who's currently in second position. Indeed, he's disappeared out of sight, so that car's coming on gangbusters. But in the meantime, we've got this great battle here between Billy Chetton and Steve Lacey as they battle it out in their yellow Camaros. And of course, Chetton running some additional sponsorship this weekend. Pro IT very much involved in this weekend's assault. And these two were the ones that really took it down to the wire at Wakefield Park not that long ago now.
No, we're used to seeing these two yellow Camaros run close together. The interesting story for New South Wales sports sedans, of course, is Grant Dorman well out in front in that Falcon, so they've got that humming along, as Steve Lacey has another big slide in the Lederer shopping car. He's got Lederer on board this weekend, and there's Ricciardello trying to lap some of this traffic almost on the grass as he forces his way through. That shows the closing speeds between these different divisions.
Well, this is the other thing we've seen when we have bigger fields like we do with 3 separate divisions. We're going to have lap traffic, and that's part and parcel of what these front runners have to go through. And Tony Ricciardello, boy, aiming very high on the list now to get his number 11 title, while these two still battle it out, and they're pretty close. Actually, they're a lot closer in performance at this round than they were at the last one.
Definitely. Not often you can see these two so close here. Birrell Chetton generally stronger at Sydney Motorsport Park in the Pro IT Camaro. He has run away with a couple of victories, especially last season. He was able to just pull away and open up that gap. This weekend, though, Steve Lacey right on him. So Steve will be looking to try to make the move. Here he goes to the inside to get second place. See if he can do it down into 6. Not quite there. He'll have to tuck in again behind on the run up the hill.
Yeah, I was going to say that often Steve Lacey has to come from behind when he has a bit of a drama. Now he's going to try and poke the nose down the inside. To go into 7. They're out of our sight for a moment. Oh, that's not the way you come out of that corner. You're supposed to come out with the front pointing in the right direction. So he does pick it all up. Fortunately, he hasn't dropped to the back. I just mentioned that. We generally have to see him do the hard charge from the rear of the field, but this time it doesn't look like he's even lost position.
No, very interesting how they came out from under there. We've got a replay with Birrell. It doesn't really show much though. You can't see Steve in the rearview mirror. By the way, Birrell didn't change any steering though. I dare say there wasn't contact. Maybe Steve just pinched a bit of grass, locked the front brakes and rotated the car.
I dare say he's probably thought there's a gap there. No, there isn't. I'll hit the brakes, and probably had a bit too much back rear wound on, and of course the Camara's gone out round as a recourse of that.
Here's Tony Ricciardello continuing to lead the way. He's going to have a flag to flag lead here as he comes at home. But you can see now Steve Lacey closing this gap hand over fist to Brill Chetton. You have to wonder if Chetton maybe doesn't quite have the setup in the car as you would expect.
Yeah, they just put a lap on Jason Compton in that BMW LS-powered car. Still a work in progress, and also getting past Nick Mantikos in the turbocharged Datsun as well.
Club champion from last season, so he'll be looking to pick up the championship points and continue running around that Datsun. Beautifully prepared car, and it looks like we've actually had one of the cars stop on the back there, the Mazda RX-8 of Matthew Ingram. It's just to the left of screen, so that car is pulled over. But out in front, this man showing a clean pair of heels, Tony Ricciardello, picking up where he left off last time he was with Sports Sedans and leading the way home.
Yeah, had a not a good end of last year's championship. Actually, you're right here. He had an engine let go, missed the final round. But this time he's got it all sorted and comes around the last corner onto the straight, and with a lead. Well, such a big lead at the moment. It's unbelievable. It's
Tony Ricciardello first, Daylight second. You can see up at the final corner, we haven't even had Grant Dillman come around yet. There he is cresting the hill. So it's Tony Ricciardello who takes the first race victory from Grant Dillman. Steve Tamasi, the second national car home, in third place. Brill Chetton, Steve Lacey rounding out your top five. After the race, Bree caught up with Steve Tamasi to get his thoughts on the 2019 season.
All right, Stephen, defending national champion. Are you hoping to back it up again this year?
Yeah, always hopeful. It's very, very hard in our race class because the competition's so good. But yeah, that's the plan.
And who do you think is your main competition?
Obviously, Mr. 10 times, which is Tony Ricciardello. So yeah, he's on the money this weekend by the looks of it. And yeah, see how we go.
And how is the car feeling?
Car's feeling not as great as we were hoping. Really sort of yesterday with the rain, we didn't get much testing in, and we didn't get to the car where we wanted it to for qualifying. But slowly we should get a better handle on things.
Well, thanks very much for chatting with us, and best of luck.
No worries, thanks.
Back from the break, a new day, round number one of the DAA Performance National Sports Sedan Series, the second round of the Kumho Tyres New South Wales Sports Sedan Championship, and race two for the weekend. And as you can see, Tamasi's got a far better start on this occasion, tries to run with our race leader, Ricciardello, and does get through and gives him a little nudge on the way just to let him know he's there. Dillman tries to sneak up the inside, it's not happening. So Steve Tamasi leads, Tony Ricciardello, Grant Dillman in third, and then a little bit of a break to it looks like Brill Chetton in fourth. And you can see from this on board from that he got a great start, didn't he? Moved to the inside, then across to the outside, then back to the inside. And yeah, I'll go around that way. That looks nice and easy. This was what he was saying yesterday. Couldn't get any tyre and suspension life at the beginning of the races. This is Steve Tamasi I'm talking about, but it's starting to come good for him in this one.
He's really worked it out there into turn two. Now he's in front of Ricciardello. It'll be interesting to see if our defending champ can bring that one home for victory. He gave him the hip and shoulders, let him know he was there. As we go further down, we can see McCready, Reed on the inside of Bradford, and just in behind them, Robinson in a brand new liveried car for this year.
Indeed, we've got these two Trans Am spec cars. We often talk about the Trans Am spec compared to the Sports Sedan. And you can see Anthony McCready in the Nissan, it's a Sports Sedan. Those two that are battling there get past. The Mustang and the Camaro are both Trans Am cars. It's all about mechanical, where the engine sits, what sort of gearbox arrangement they have, and basically speeds are about the same.
McCready obviously having some dramas getting things up to temperature as Paul Boscher pulls off the road in the Corvette, so that's not great for him. At the same time though, Ricciardello down the inside of Tamasi to take the lead back. He gave him a little bit of a push as well through the mid-corner, just returning serve.
Yeah, the what we've seen there, the Dodge-powered Corvette of Boscher pull off to the side, blew an engine in qualifying and went home overnight and put another engine in that car, and unfortunately it hasn't come to fruition for him.
we see these Trans Ams continue to battle. Bradford on the outside, Reed on the inside. Reed sliding that car out. He had a great season in New South Wales Sports Sedans last year and will be relishing the opportunity that is in front of two very strong national sports sedans campaigners.
Indeed, and Bradford was complaining they used a slightly lower profile tyre in yesterday's race, and unfortunately it just didn't suit the car at all well. They figure they might have got on top of that problem. We're yet to see whether we can get past Reed and be the top flight Trans Am.
He's not going to do it like that. Oh, wow.
How did he get out of that?
That was a huge moment at the hairpin. Took a bit of grass, locked it up. He's dropped a few positions. There's Caruso coming by. He's charging from the rear of the field. So he has picked up a fair few spots as well. And we go around now with this beautiful Saab Rosemount mechanical car of Anthony Cox.
Yeah, Dodge powered as well. And if nothing else, the Dodge powered cars sound good. They may not have the outright performance of the Chev powered machines, but I think that's a work in progress for those guys. And there we see this battle with Caruso coming up on McCready to try and slip past him. And it's been a good drive from this young fella, and I'm sure he's got a good future awaiting him. He's just got to learn this car. He hasn't raced it before this weekend, so there's a lot to come to grips with.
Yeah, John Millay, of course, good to work under as well for the Auto Union Deutsch car. We've seen it be a weapon at the hands of people like Jack Perkins in previous years, and it looks like Caruso is going to keep that going as now McCready comes under pressure from Bradford again. We saw him under pressure earlier on. It seemed like he was able to move away a little bit, but now as this race gets into its later stages, Bradford in the Aston Air car looks to the inside down the straight.
And here these two protagonists going at it again. Chetton and Lacey, trying to determine who's the top dog on this occasion. It's Steve Lacey in front of Chetton, and we've got him on board from Chetton's car there, trying to find a way back to be the top of the New South Wales pile, I guess, behind Grant Dillman, again showing the way in the state championship round.
And then Shane Bradford just in behind as well there. So that BMW has had extensive work in the off-season by Riverside Racing, and he's finding a lot of pace in it as well. Shane Bradford just coming on over time as he continues his adventure in sports car racing.
Yeah, Shane Woodman, I think you're referring to there in the BMW, the Chev-powered car, right in the mix with this. And this has been a car that's been developed. Our magazine Auto Action ran a big feature on this car in its latest issue, and it's been driven in the past by John Bauer, who was very commending of the performance of this car and the development that's gone into it.
Looks like they're starting to get some pace now as the Landell Science machine works on the back of Bill Chetton. A lock-up down into turn 2 for Dillman. Theo Camburis off the side of the road as well there as we go on board with Dillman. Let's see what happens here. Runs it over the curb and it just starts pinching the brake as soon as he goes for the pedal. So
yeah, it looks like it's either had something collapse in the right front of it, whether it be a tyre gone down or a suspension component. We'll check with that, find out for the next race. In the meantime, our race leader rounding up the back markers. There he goes past Mantikos and then Barton, who's opted to run the Corvette, an ex-Paul Bochet car, as a matter of fact, but a chassis car, and they're having a great battle in the chassis class as well.
Yeah, it looks like Mantikos just trying to work on the back of that Corvette. He's a lot closer to him than he was in race 1, where Mantikos was pretty much on his own for that race. As we see Tony Ricciardello start to embark on the final lap of race 2, he's going to work his way past where all those stricken cars are at turn 2.
Yeah, and here's a great battle going on. Again, another car of the back markers for these two, Michael Robinson and Jordan Caruso, to get past, and here they go. You'll wonder what hit them when they go flying past him down the straight, the pair of them, and look at the speed difference between Caruso and Robinson. what a terminology, what a pairing of names, Robinson and Caruso, eh?
As they come down into turn 1. Caruso's come from the back of the field to 5th, so he's made up 21 positions at this point in the race, which is an impressive effort. He may well get Beryl Chetton before the line, but out in front, still on his own, Tony Ricciardello has just put the head down and run away with this one. Did his fastest lap on lap 3 and has sort of stayed around the same area as he just navigates past. BMW's got a little bit of something flapping off the side of it there in the final corner.
Yeah, the Copton car.
Yes, it looks like might have a tyre issue or something like that, but you can see Ricciardello across the line. Steve Tamasi chasing him down. Stephen Lacey in 3rd. Jordan Caruso got up for 4th. Beryl Chetton coming home in 5th place. After the race, Bree caught up with Grant Dillman to find out more about his dramas at turn 2.
All right, Grant, you had a great first day yesterday. Unfortunately, not so lucky today.
Yeah, it's a terrible start to today's day, but You know, it's motor racing. It happens. You know, it happens to the best of them, and you win championships, you don't win championships, win races, you don't win races, and the trick is to try and keep it all going and finish as many as possible, and we didn't get to do it today. So it looks like we did a tyre, unfortunately. We're not sure what the damage is sort of from, whether or not it was a manufacturing problem or car problem or driver issue. I believe I wasn't too hard on it, but I came around turn one, got a bit of a shake-up in the steering wheel, and normally at about 250 kilometres an hour, that's not the best. And then it was a pop, bang, and couldn't steer, couldn't stop, and I just tried my best to keep it out of the wall.
All right, no worries. I'm sure we'll do some more investigating, but best of luck to you, and hopefully you can get back out there.
Cool. Thanks, Bree. Cheers.
Back for the third and final race of the first round of the National Sports Sedan Championship, the second round of the State Sports Sedan Championship, and again Tamasi has got the better start over Ricciardello as they head down towards turn 2 the first time. Caruso's up there in third, almost in third spot, and will he get it on the out? No, Steve Lacey holds him out and would know how to protect now. He knows what he's like to happen to him, so he'd be very wary of that as well.
Tell you what, that start from Tamasi around the outside. He doesn't hold it for long though. Ricciardello straight down the inside at 4. Got the run out of 3 and over the hill for the first time. And now Ricciardello back in front. Look at that car slide through 5 though. He's struggling for rear tyre life this weekend.
Well, rear grip on cold tyres, and you know it's a warm day out there, but still you've got to get these tyres up to optimum temperature as soon as you can. And sports sedans don't get a long time to do it because of the fact they have a rolling start.
See, as Ricciardello continues to lead at the end of the opening lap, Tamasi will try to run with him. That car is still creeping around the corners and just looking uncomfortable as they come down the hill. Caruso looks to the inside of Lacey. We go on board with Lacey now, and there's Caruso up into third place. Tell you what, when you can pass Steve Lacey into turn 1 on outright pace, you're doing very, very well.
Yeah, well, Lacey probably given a wide berth as well, given a bit of a touch-up beforehand, but that's one of those things you live and learn, and there's his Dillman coming back through the pack as well after his DNF from the earlier race, and he's certainly making good inroads as well. He's got past Reed, he lines up for an outside move on McCready down to turn 2 and gets the job done as well.
So Dillman continues marching up. He's come all the way from the rear of the field. Look at him on board with him as he fights the steering wheel. They figured out what the dramas were, it seems, between races. Of course, we saw the interview with Bree, and that has meant that they've whacked a new tyre on it, changed a little bit of the setup, and should be able to run away as Reed is running through 4 and 5. A little bit of sliding there as well as they struggle to get those tyres up to temperature, and Cox starting to work on the back of this group as well. So the Dodge-powered Saab is way through.
Yeah, McCready, of course. Well, we've just seen Robbo run wide out of turn 8, and that'll give Bradford a good run on him. Oh, dramas there for Chetton by the look of it. Looks like he opted to get out of the way. I don't want to be involved in that, he said, and just got out of the way of Caruso on his way through there. But yeah, it's interesting that we see McCready back, who's just behind this group, that he had a 2.5-year hiatus out of the sport, and it's good to see him back. Andrew Brown in the Camaro from Victoria had some dramas in qualifying, spun off, and then had a bit of trouble pulling that car out with its tow hook, but it's good to see him come up from Victoria and have a run with the state guys up here.
Another very fast car is the one behind him, Mark Duggan in the Duggan Family Hotels Aston Martin. That's a previous championship winner in Nationals with Kerry Bailey. As we go back to the front, battling with these cars in previous life. We're on board with Caruso here. Oh, Tamasi very awkwardly through the second to last corner. That's allowed Caruso down the inside. Here he goes. Drives it out of the final corner. He's got to get, lights up the rears onto the straight. That's going to give Tamasi an opportunity down the inside into 1.
That's a phenomenal effort for him to get up to second spot. He was 4th starting this one, but he's past the reigning National Sports Sedan title holder and comes down to turn 2. I think he's gone in a bit deep on this one and runs it wide. Yeah, he's going to have a lose there. So if he doesn't... Just a
touch on the wall.
How good's that?
So not great for Caruso. That's the end of his weekend. As Paul Bochet goes back to the field as well. Or was that Tony Barton?
It was Tony Barton.
So as they return back there, and Duggan now working on the back of this BMW. Looks to the inside, not quite able to get there. And they're trying to chase down Andrew Brown just in front as well.
Yeah, there's take this over from your brother-in-law and make the payments and turn into a sports sedan. That's Jason Crompton's story. And getting cut faster and faster every time we see that car come out.
That car is doing well to be able to be fighting up against these two cars, which have both got a lot of speed, as we see the Duggan family hotels. Aston come under our camera shot there into turn 6 and turn 7 around the back of Corporate Hill. Here you go, Thompson to the inside. Oh, lock up there, that's going to give him the run. Pulls the nose out of it, so not quite able to get there yet.
Yeah, chassis car in between two space frames, a Trans Am car just ahead, which he's putting some pressure on, and of course the other space frame car behind, a former title-holding championship-winning car.
Brown getting all sorts of pressure here. Oh, it looks like that's Smith, I think, pulling to the inside.
Graham Smith and the Division 3 Commodores called it quits.
Usually has some great battles with Rod Monaghan. As we go back to the front, Dillman now under pressure from Chetton, and I think he's going to be under a lot of pressure as he's turning that car into a locomotive.
Yeah, a little bit like a battleship smoke screen, that one, isn't it? It's starting to puff a bit too much.
Out of the exhaust pipes is not a good sign either.
It certainly isn't.
That'll be munching all sorts of interiors. You can see Chetton a little bit sideways. I wonder if Dillman's starting to drop just a little bit of oil. Not many laps to home though, so it looks like Dillman is not pulling to the pit lane. He wants to bring this one home for the championship points after all the work that this team has done to get this car redeveloped in the off-season. He wants to get there. As Ingram now finds himself in the battle as well that we were just watching in the mid-pack.
Yeah, and it looks like the track's getting a little bit slipperier everywhere, which could be a result of that engine drama for the Chev-powered Falcon that we've seen. And this battle continues as Brown runs a little bit wide out of 10 up to 11, but covers himself a little bit on the straight. You would think Duggan might just have a little bit more outright pace, but that one's sort of got near Tony Ricciardello once he's got into stride, and we can understand why he's just recently taken the outright lap record at Barbagallo. We've seen, is it Michael Robinson?
Yeah.
Parked off to the side there of turn 6.
So something's up with him, which means he will not finish this race. Not great for his championship points. Out in front though, Ricciardello, here he comes around Philip Ryan in that beautiful 280 ZX Nissan, the Tyre Power Blaney car. Great history behind that one as well. Encourage you to jump on to New South Wales Sports Sedans and find out more about that one. But it's Tony Ricciardello 10 times looking at number 11 as he comes down the straight for the final time to take victory.
Yeah, checkered flag goes out to Ricciardello, who takes the win ahead of Steve Tamasi, Steve Lacey in third, Shane Bradford and Shane Woodman round out the top 5.
Down in the pits, Bree caught up with our victors.
All right, 3 from 3. That's a perfect result for you.
Yeah, it's been a long time for one of these, but look, we're pretty happy with the weekend. Really tough track conditions, and it's a good learning curve for the young guys. You've got to drive to the condition, not the outright speed. So, look, pretty happy with the car. The track was a little bit slower this weekend, so you sort of chase it a little bit, but it is what it is. So we're pretty happy with the result.
Yeah, look, there was a lot of people spinning out, tyres exploding. You did well to avoid all of it.
Yeah, like I said, the rear tyres weren't really holding up, I guess, to the conditions because it was quite greasy, and the back of the car's, so much horsepower, and that it was sort of struggling through the long sweeping corners, but it's managing. You have to manage it and get to the end and be consistent. So really happy with the end result.
Yeah, well done. Definitely a good result, and look forward to seeing you next round.
All right, thank you.
All right, Stephen Lacey, you got third outright for Nationals, and you've come first in the state championship round 2. Well done.
Thanks very much, Bree. A lot of hard work, but we got there.
Look, it was very competitive, that race 3. You were putting on the pressure. You kept away from Birrell. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, very happy with that. It's always hard to get away from Birrell. But, yeah, in that third race, got a bit of a gap at the start and pretty much run on my own for most of that race.
Well, you're still definitely on top, so well done.
Thanks very much, Bree. Cheers.
We'll see you next round.
All right, thank you very much.